Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, everyone. So, welcome to our virtual learning class by using video. For our writing class, I have checked your exercise, last meeting, all your writing. I think that you are getting better and better and better now because we already already apply all the theory that we already learned before on our writing. So to today's chapter will be the last theory related to the topic sentence, supporting sentence, and also concluding sentence that will help us in writing. Because start from next meeting, we will start to write more detail essay, which means that we write based on the our goal, based on the goal that we want, whether it is descriptive, whether it is comparing paragraph, or whether it is contrast paragraph, or whether it is opinion paragraph. So we will start it next meeting. So for today, we still related our material to the explanation. So let me just start. So the topic is in chapter 3, the development of a paragraph. So how we develop our paragraph. If you still remember last meeting, so if you see here, we in last meeting we have learned how to start a paragraph with topic sentence, and then remember that every single paragraph they have their own topic. So we have two kinds of topic in the whole paragraph, which means sometimes you also say that the theme of the paragraph, but in every single paragraph you must have a topic. Yeah? And in the paragraph itself, you have topic sentence, the supporting sentence, and concluding sentence. Yeah, last meeting we learned, we focus more on the topic sentence, how to create the topic sentence, how to focus on the main idea that you put on the topic, on the topic sentence, how you start your sentence with a good paragraph so that it will be easy for you to make the supporting sentence and also the concluding sentence. Okay. So here we have finished this chapter. Now we are going to chapter 3, the development of the paragraph, which will be focused on these three. Yeah, in this unit you will okay, so let me make it bigger. Okay. So in this unit you will learn methods of the paragraph support and development, and then how to write concluding sentence, and how to do peer editing. So there are two kinds of way here. Methods of paragraph support and development is how you make the supporting sentence. And the last one is how to write concluding sentence. Yeah, so last meeting topic sentence. This meeting we learn how to explore how to write more in supporting sentence and also concluding sentence. In the method itself, there are three kinds of the methods that we will learn later on. So here we say paragraph development. After you have chosen a topic and written a topic sentence, you develop your main idea by adding more information to explain what you mean. So this is the conclusion, the supporting sentence. This unit will explain three common ways to develop a paragraph. Yeah, so this is the method how we develop our paragraph, how we put supporting sentence by using giving the details, or you giving an explanation, or you giving an example. Actually, you just can choose from these three if it is a short paragraph. But when it comes to a long paragraph, or you need a very detailed paragraph, a very long paragraph, it is better for you to do the three. That's fine. Okay, but at least in a paragraph, you put one of these methods in writing your conclusion, in writing your supporting sentence, Okay, so here let we discuss one by one. The first one, you make the details of your main idea. So details are specific points that tell more about a general statement. So you give specific points, to your general statement, or to your topic, to your main ideas. So read the brochure from a health club. Notice the details that help develop the paragraph. So this is the example of a paragraph that use details in explaining the supporting sentence. Okay, the first one it is say, you'll love working out at the Atlas Health Center and you will love what it does for you. We have state-of-the-art exercise equipment in large air-conditioned rooms. So this is the main idea. The topic is about how you the topic itself is about working out, right? So the main ideas that that this paragraph has, yeah, it is said that we will love, yeah, how we love working out at the Atlas Health Centers, and what it does for you, how it will affect us. Yeah, they have state-of-the-art exercise equipment in large air-conditioned rooms. So remember that they start this paragraph related to the facilities, right? So that's why they give more details to these facilities. They give specific points about these facilities when you do the exercise on Atlas Health Center. So they say you can work alone or with the help of one of our professional personal trainers. That's the first details. If you like exercising with friends, join an aerobic or swimming class. So they explain that in these Atlas Health Centers, you can exercise with your friends, and also you can exercise alone, or even there are also try aerobic class, swimming class, or even try kickboxing. Our staff nutrition experts are always on hand to talk with you about health issues. So it means that they tell you that they have a nutrition expert, yeah, that you can ask this nutrition expert if you join Atlas Health Center. So see, there are details here. And the last one, when you finish, you can relax with a whirlpool bath or a sauna. So this is another facilities, yeah, that offered by Atlas Health Center. Yeah, the details that given about Atlas Health Center. Come and exercise with us at Atlas, and you'll soon be feeling strong and looking good. So see, this is the last paragraph, and this last paragraph is actually not supporting, yeah, but this is the concluding sentence. So they conclude that after they give, so the topic sentence is about Atlas Health Center, and then they use the details about all the facilities, and the facilities of, can offer the one that like to exercise alone or the one who like to exercise together. Okay, and then they also have nutrition expert. They have also whirlpool bath and also sauna after you exercise. Yeah, so that's all the details, and they close it with a concluding paragraph which say, come and exercise with us at Atlas, and you'll soon be feeling strong and looking good. So this is the example for the concluding paragraph. So that's for details, how you give supporting sentence by using details method. Yeah, and then the second one, okay, this is actually the answer for this. Let's go. The second one is explanation. So an explanation tells the reader what something means. So when it comes to explanation, you give more about the meaning, yeah, how something it works. So that's the explanation. So you don't give more details to something, but you rather give the details. You give more deeper meaning. You give how it is work, yeah, how it affects your life, or how it affects or how it's give the benefits. Yeah, that's the explanation. Okay, this is one of the example. A stitch in times save 9. Jadi stitch means jahitan, ya. Jahit di waktu yang tepat itu akan menyelamatkan dari 9 jahitan lainnya. Itu makna ininya ya, makna apa? Mendalamnya gitu ya. My mother, who likes sewing, used this simple saying to teach me the value of working on problems when they are still small. Originally, the saying referred to sewing. If you have a small hole in a shirt, you can repair it with one stitch. But if you wait, the hole will get But if you wait, the hole will get larger, and it will take your 9 stitches. This simple sentence reminds me to take care of small problems before they becoming big problems. If you see this paragraph, it's totally different from the previous one. Yeah, in details, you give more details of the generalism, more specific information. But when it comes to the explanation, you explain deeper meaning of something. Jadi ini kan bahasnya katanya a stitch in time save 9. Jadi satu jahitan akan menyelamatkan atau tidak membuat kita menjahit 9 kali lainnya. Nah, di sini dia kasih explanation. This paragraph give more explanation, maksudnya apa? Nah, makanya dia bilang, my mother who likes chewing used to this simple saying to teach me the value of working on problems when they are still small. Jadi ibu saya gitu ya yang suka jahit menggunakan istilah ini untuk mengajarkan saya makna atau nilai dari bagaimana kita menghadapi suatu permasalahan ketika dia masih kecil. See, they don't explain to you a stitch consists of atau misalnya a stitch is so sharp. Enggak, dia enggak bilang details dari tentang jahit, tapi dia lebih ke deeper thing. Ya, dia explain it maknanya apa, dia menjelaskan maksudnya apa, hasilnya seperti apa. Nah, that's explanation. Okay? And then it's also say originally the saying referred to sewing. Sebenarnya maknanya itu lebih menjurus kepada tentang jahit katanya. If you have a small hole in a shirt, ini bagus nih katanya. Kalau kita punya lubang kecil gitu ya di baju kita, misalnya berlubang, you can repair it with one stitch. Sebenarnya kalau lubang kecil kan bisa dijahit cukup satu jahitan saja katanya. But if you wait, tapi kalau kita nunggu, ya udah kita biarin, kita tungguin aja si lubang itu tadi, the hole will get larger. Akhirnya kan si lubangnya katanya akan semakin besar. Nah, ketika dia semakin besar, and it will take you 9 stitches. Akhirnya ketika dia membesar, jahitnya jadi 9 kali, 9 jahitan. Dari sekedar tadi yang satu jahitan. Nah, akhirnya dia kasih kesimpulan nih terakhir. This simple sentence reminds me to take care of small problems before they become big problems. Jadi si kalimat yang simpel ini mengingatkan saya untuk mengurus atau menghadapi gitu ya masalah yang kecil sebelum akhirnya menjadi semakin besar. Jadi menyelesaikan masalah yang tadinya masih kecil nih jangan sampai dia menjadi besar. Karena kalau udah menjadi besar sama tadi jahitannya udah hampir 9, artinya masalahnya makin besar ya cara mengatasinya juga semakin besar. See? So this is the complete one. So you give explanation to the topic sentence, to the main ideas, and then you close it with the concluding sentence. Okay? So that's the second one, explanation. And then the last one, or the last method is example. So what is example? It is said, an example is a specific person, place, thing, or event that support an idea or statement. This paragraph includes an example from the writer's own experience. Now, when he starts to example, we also can make our paragraph long by giving our explanation. So, for example, when you read your senior thesis, ya di skripsi kakak kelasnya, biasanya they will put some of their experience. Misalnya they want to make an experiment research. Jadi mereka mau melakukan penelitian eksperimen gitu ya. Mau ngajar by using misalnya mengajarkan reading dengan menggunakan buku komik. Nah, di introduction gitu ya, dia akan bilang they will explain about their experience when they teach at school. Karena kan sebelum buat skripsi itu kan ada PPL kan. Jadi mereka menjelaskan, when the writers do PPL, when the writers do teaching experiment in the school, the writers found a lot of problem when the writers teach the students in reading. Most of them doesn't like reading. Most of them itu jadi di paragraf awal itu gitu ya, di paragraf bab satunya itu waktu dia bilang background introduction, dia akan kasih explanation about their experience. Bagus. Jadi akhirnya semakin yakin, karena pengalamannya ketika PPL ngeliat nilai siswa readingnya ini kok kecil, ngelihat kok anak-anak ini tuh males kalau misalnya belajar bahasa Inggrisnya reading gitu. Nah, sehingga si writernya, sehingga kalian sebagai penulis, sebagai peneliti berkeinginan. Nah, panjang kan paragrafnya gitu. Jadi di pengenalan, jadi di bab satunya itu dijelasin seperti itu. And it really helps to make your writing longer. Gitu ya. Jadi kan bisa lihat tuh, setebal itu skripsi. Jadi kira-kira kan kalian mikir nih, apa aja ya yang ditulis dalam skripsi? Nah, itulah yang buat panjang skripsi itu ya mostly the supporting sentence. Jadi karena panjang tadi kata Miss akhirnya these three methods is actually used by the writer. They use explanation, they use the details, and even they put example to their paragraph. Okay, so this is one of the other example in this paragraph. Even when a first date is a disaster, a couple can still become good friends. So this is the main idea. Yeah, this is the topic sentence. Now, directly, the writer write, for example, my first date with Greg was terrible. I thought he was coming to pick me up at 6:30, but instead he came at 6. I didn't have to do my hair and make my makeup look messy. When I got into his car, I scraped my leg against the car door and tore my tights. Next, he took me to an Italian restaurant for dinner, and I accidentally dropped some spaghetti on my shirt. Then we went to a film. Greg asked me which film I wanted to see, and I chose a romantic comedy. He fell asleep during the film, and I got angry. Now that Greg and I are good friends, we can look back and laugh at how terrible that first date was. So see, I think that it is very easy for you to understand how to make a supporting sentence by using example. And then this paragraph is closed with a concluding sentence that say, Greg and I are good friends. We can look back and laugh at how terrible the first date was. So we conclude that even the worst thing happened in their first date, but they are still friends. And now they just laugh at how this terrible date happened in the past. Okay, so that's the three methods when you write concluding sentence. So here there are some exercise that you can do. So would you develop each of these topics with details and explanation or an example? Explain your choice to a partner. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there are 5 topic here. Yeah, there are 5 topic here. I want you to make a paragraph, yeah, that consists of the topic sentence, supporting sentence, and also concluding sentence. But every single paragraph should have different way. So for example, what an unusual holiday. An unusual holiday is better with which one? Satu aja. Jadi just choose one method ya. Just choose one method. Pilih satu saja metodenya untuk supporting sentence-nya. Apakah kalian milih details, apakah milih explanation, atau milih example. Contohnya misalnya yang an unusual holiday, liburan yang tidak biasa. Ini kayaknya lebih tepat pakai details, explanation, atau example. Ya, of course example. Ya, tapi tidak menutup kemungkinan details juga bisa. Explanation juga bisa. Jadi kalau misalnya itu berarti menjelaskan sebuah liburan yang tidak biasa. Itu bermakna bahwa, misalnya gitu. Jadi di Indonesia ada begitu banyak liburan-liburan yang tidak biasa. Namun, itu lebih ke details explanation gitu ya. Tapi when you are starting to use an example, ya berarti contohnya seperti halnya yang pernah saya alami. Nah, that's the example. So what I wanted to do is to choose 3 of these topics. Jadi silakan pilih A, B, C, D, E dengan 3 topik ini. Tapi setiap topik itu menggunakan yang berbeda. Menggunakan supporting sentence, metode supporting sentence yang berbeda. Ada yang pakai details, ada yang pakai explanation, ada yang pakai an example. So you have to submit me 3 kinds of paragraph. Jadi 3 jenis paragraf dengan topik yang berbeda dan dengan metode supporting sentence yang berbeda. Ada yang pakai metode details, ada yang pakai metode explanation, ada yang pakai metode example. Okay, so that's your exercise for this meeting. Okay, the last one, don't forget. Ini tadi udah ya supporting sentence-nya. Nanti sekalian di dalam sini, ya di dalam yang kalian pilih tadi paragraf tadi, you have to write the concluding sentence. Ini ada sedikit teori, explanation gitu ya about concluding sentence. Katanya how to end a paragraph. Bagaimana kita mengakhiri sebuah paragraf. The final sentence of paragraph is called the concluding sentence. It sums up the main points or restates the main idea in different way. Jadi nggak selalu cuman sum up, jadi buat kesimpulan yang beda lagi, nggak selalu begitu, tapi kadang-kadang juga mengulangi kembali katanya. Ya, menyampaikan kembali ide pokoknya tadi yang ada di topik sentence tadi, tapi dengan cara atau kalimat yang berbeda biasanya. Ya, a sentence that sum up the paragraph reminds the reader of what the writer's main idea and supporting points were. A sentence that restate the main idea should give the same information in a slightly different way, perhaps by using different words or by using different word or order. A concluding sentence should not introduce a new point. Jadi yang paling terakhir nih, kadang-kadang sering kelupaan. Yeah, mostly you make a different conclusion and even you put some other information and then it's not really related to the paragraph. This is wrong. Jadi ketika sudah buat si concluding sentence, ya udah omongin aja apa yang ada dalam paragraf itu, jangan menambah-nambahin yang lain. Kalau udah nambahin yang lain gitu ya, jadi bingung. Ya, tidak usah mencoba nambahin lagi buat paragraf yang selanjutnya. Jadi paragraf selanjutnya biar hubungannya biarlah sama paragraf selanjutnya. Ya, but at least kalau memang kalian mau buat berurutan paragrafnya, cuma sedikit aja nyenggol di paragraf bawahnya yang ada hubungan sama paragraf yang ditulis pada saat itu. Tapi tetap main idea-nya, ya, the concluding sentence is restate the main idea. Jadi tidak ada jauh berbeda dari main idea-nya. Jangan main idea-nya misalnya setuju bahwa ini, pas di concluding-nya tidak setuju bahwa ini. So don't make it confused. Okay? And then ini nggak apa-apa, ini contoh aja. So it will be not will. This is your personal exercise. Silahkan kalau mau latihan sendiri buat cari-cari yang mana ya concluding sentence-nya, yang mana ya supporting sentence-nya, gitu ya. This is all the exercise. Tapi kita lewatin aja. Actually, if you are having offline meeting, I think that I will give you a lot of exercise. Sebenarnya kalau kita ketemunya kelas biasa, pasti ini saya minta latihan di kelas, gitu ya. Tapi ya mau gimana, jadi silakan nanti kerjakan secara pribadi aja gitu ya. Jadi silakan baca-baca yang mana yang means of support, yang mana concluding sentence-nya. Jadi kalian bisa lihat contoh-contoh yang ada di dalam sini ya. And then the last one is peer editing. I think that you have applied this way of learning, way of teaching, way of writing by using peer editing. Jadi bahkan banyak teori juga gitu ya, kalau misalnya mengajarkan writing dengan by using peer editing. Jadi sebenarnya ini bisa banyak jadi ide ya, nanti kalau kalian ngajar nanti dengan menggunakan teknik details, explanation, gitu ya, example, or if you want to do research about peer editing. Ini just my tips ya, out of the writing gitu ya. Jadi Miss itu pas waktu S1 judulnya itu cepat di ACC sama pembimbing. Kenapa? Because I have a lot of title list. Jadi ketika kalian mau nanti skripsian tuh, kalian sudah persiapin dari sekarang. Jadi ketika kalian nih belajar nih ya, kayaknya ini bagus ya kalau nanti saya buat skripsi. Nah, saya I myself make my own list of research that I am interested into a book ya. Jadi ada kertas atau buku gitu ya yang Miss siapin ketika Miss menemukan sesuatu yang menarik gitu loh. Udah dicatat dari semester-semester bawah. Jadi ketika nanti mengajukan judul, ketika ketemu sama pembimbing, itu nggak cuma bawa badan, bilang, "Nggak tahu Miss tentang apa." Gitu. Don't do that. If you do that, ya udah tambah lama. Jadi pembimbing itu cuma membimbing ya nantinya gitu. Nggak semua bukannya pembimbing semua yang mikirin judul apa, harus gimana, enggak. Itu semuanya harus dari kalian. Nah, karena itu gitu ya. This is my tips. Jadi nanti, jadi mulai sekarang gitu ya, kali belajar writing nih. Tadi menarik kan? Teaching writing by using peer editing. Catat. Kayaknya peer editing bagus nih. Kayaknya saya tuh senang ngajar writing. Udah catat semua yang berhubungan sama writing. Or even if you have class with Mr. Jaya or Miss Nike right now, ada kelas speaking, ada kelas reading gitu ya. Nah, ketika Mr. Jaya atau Miss Nike ngajarin, terus ada kayak yang menarik bagi kalian, catat gitu loh. Kayaknya saya menarik nih membuat skripsi atau penelitian tentang ini. Nah, jadi nanti pas di semester akhir, kalian udah punya list topik gitu. Jadi tinggal dikasihin sama pembimbing. Sir, ini yang ini Miss gitu ya. Ini yang saya catat selama saya kuliah nih. Nah, ada banyak topik yang saya menarik. Nah, jadi nanti pembimbing tinggal membimbing kalian aja tuh. Kayaknya ini bagus nih. Ini belum pernah. Nah, akhirnya setuju. Jadi sekali datang dapat judul. Jadi nggak judul aja harus berkali-kali gitu. Okay, so that's actually my tips. So that's the way I get my title directly when I meet my advisor. Jadi cara Miss ketika supaya dapat ketika ketemu advisor, bimbingan sekali langsung dapat judul, jadi nggak berkali-kali cuma judul, gitu ya. Okay, so now we going back to this material, peer editing. So I think that most of you have done this. Now showing your work to another students or another friends is a very useful way to improve your writing. Jadi nggak usah malu. Jadi nggak usah malu kasih writing kalian ke teman, minta cek. Nanti kalian juga bantu cek temennya. Yeah, this is called peer editing. You read your partner's writing and your partner read yours. You comment on your partner's writing and your partner comments on yours. You might talk together, write comments on a sheet that your instructor give you, or write directly on your partner's word. Here is the first draft of paragraph for writer first date with Greg tadi ya. Contohnya first date tadi dengan Greg. The writer has shown two paragraph to another student who wrote some comments. Jadi ini contohnya dikasih komen sama si penulisnya, dan ini itu akan justru membiasakan kalian ketika kalian nanti jadi guru. So that's why I always start from the very first time I ask you to have your friends. Lebih baik lagi misalnya nggak apa-apa satu orang itu aja, atau mau ganti-ganti nggak masalah supaya dapat pandangan yang berbeda, tapi biasain seperti itu. Jadi kalian minta bantu cek, kalian juga ngecek. Because later on if you are a teacher and you teach writing, you will be easy to make this comment to your students. Karena kalau if you ask your students writing, jadi kan jangan hanya cuman kasih nilai ya 80, 70, you have to put some notes, ya kan? Ketika ngajar writing harus kasih catatan ke muridnya, ini kurang, itu kurang. Nah, if you do a lot of the peer editing with your friends, it will make you easier. It will make you accustomed to write comment later on if you become a teacher. Okay. So here is the example, and then this is the exercise. Just leave it, and then this is actually the explanation. This point is actually explanation. Salah satu contoh supporting sentence yang maksudnya explanation ya, katanya why do writer use peer editing? There are two reasons for peer editing. The first is to get the reader's opinion about your writing. A reader can tell you apakah harus add more details or explanation, apakah something is not organized clearly, you have some information that is not relevant, or there is something that is hard to understand. Because sometimes if you write, you understand it, but when people read it, people cannot catch what it means. Yeah, so that's why peer editing will help you to know that your writing cannot be understood by the reader. This comment will help you write your next draft. Jadi tadi draft pertama udah di peer editing, akhirnya kita buat draft baru lagi yang lebih baik lagi. The second reason to share writing with others is for you to read more example of writing. Other people will have had experience that you haven't. They may show you fresh ways of writing about experience. Reading their paragraph and essay can give you good ideas to use yourself in the future. Bahkan kita baca writing orang tuh akan jadi banyak ide. Makanya dengan membaca kita bisa banyak lebih tahu. Sehingga nanti ketika nulis, oh iya ya waktu itu topik ini saya pernah ngecek nih. Kayaknya this is also happen with me. Jadi when it comes to translation, sambil project translation gitu ya, nge-translate, sebenarnya bacain tentang tulisan-tulisan orang yang nggak ada hubungan sama bahasa Inggris nih, tapi justru dengan baca itu akhirnya I know, oh kayak gini, iya ya bagus ya kalau saya seperti ini, bagus ya kalau saya buat penelitian gini gitu ya. So that helped me a lot when I do the peer editing, when I check other people writing, and I do believe that you will feel the same. Now how do I peer editing? So this is actually the step. You read your partner words several times. The first time, just read from the beginning to the end. Ask yourself, what is this about? What is the writer's purpose? Peer editing doesn't mean that only once. You read again, read again. On your second reading, go more slowly and look at specific part of the writing and make note. Look for topic sentence and concluding sentence. Note place where you have trouble understanding something, where there seems to be unnecessary information, or where there is not enough information. Let the writer know which part of the text are especially strong or interesting. Ask question. This is good way to let the writers know where he or she should add more information. Ini paling sering banget kan. Jadi bahkan guru-guru pun kalau misalnya kita writing gitu ya, atau dosen itu biasanya kasih tanda tanya. Jadi if you check your senior thesis. Jadi biasanya kalau bimbingan skripsi itu catatan-catatan seperti ini akan muncul banyak sekali oleh dosen pembimbing. Jadi akan ditanya, ini ngomongin apa gitu ya. Topik sentence-nya apa? Kok nggak ada? Conclusion sentence-nya kok nggak ada gitu. Pasti ini adalah yang paling sering kena coret. Ya, kena coret pas waktu skripsian. Jadi katanya note place where you have trouble understanding something. Nah, ini biasanya dosen tuh suka kasih thread gitu. Jangan tulis ini, ganti gitu ya. Or where there is not enough information, kurang. Cek lah, pasti banyak dosen pembimbing nulis add more information, add more theory, tambahin lagi teorinya, tambahin lagi informasinya. Terus katanya which part our text are especially strong or interesting. Jadi biasanya kalau ini bagus, dilingkarin. Oh, this point is good. Ya, you have to explain it on your presentation. Jadi misalnya kalau poin-poinnya penting atau bagus, biasanya di highlight sama dosen pembimbingnya. Nanti pas waktu skripsi atau sidang tuh ini disampaikan ya. Gitu. Ask question. That is good way to let the writer know where he or she could add more information. Kalau question tuh udah banyak. Rata-rata kalau kertas revisian itu pasti tanda tanya semua. Gitu ya, circle or underline word, phrase, or sentence that you wish to comment on. Nah, biasanya nanti ada yang digaris bawahi, ada yang pakai simbol-simbol seperti itu. And this is mostly what the advisor do. Ya, jadi kalian nggak bakal shock lagi gitu ya, karena udah kebiasaan ketika peer edit sama temen tuh, pasti di ini sama seperti revisi dari skripsi. Nah, your writing tree is actually your way, ya, your preparation on writing a research or academic writing. Karena itulah Miss ambil buku ini. Karena buku ini lebih gitu ya menjurus mengarahkan kalian supaya lebih mudah nanti menghadapi penulisan skripsi. Karena justru itu sangat masalah sekali. Because this is actually the very close project, which I mean that you have to teach writing ya later on. Tapi kan nanti ketika ngajar anak SD, SMP, SMA, bahkan ketika nanti kuliah sekalipun jadi dosen, yang ngajarnya tuh nggak details gitu ya, maksudnya ya udah latihan. Tapi yang paling penting dalam waktu dekat ke kalian ini adalah writing thesis. So don't be shocked when you are writing thesis. Jadi dari awal udah tahu bahwa di revisi itu seperti ini karena ada kesalahan ini, karena seperti ini gitu loh. Jadi jangan heran, kok direvisi terus, Ya direvisi terus karena memang salah dan salahnya itu ini kebanyakan. Gitu ya, idenya udah bagus tapi cara nulisnya explanation, details, example-nya nggak dimasukin, concluding sentence-nya nggak ada gitu ya. The last one, don't look for grammar or spelling mistake. Pay attention just to the content and organization of the word. Tapi biasanya idenya. Tapi kadang-kadang juga kita harus kasih saran ya ke grammar. Because wrong grammar will be so annoying. Jadi grammar yang salah tuh kadang-kadang ngeselin. Bacanya tuh nggak ngerti. Kita juga tetap harus fokus ke grammar. Okay, so I think that's all the material. Nah, ini sebenarnya giving construction suggestion. Nah, nanti kalau misalnya nih kalian ambil penelitian tentang tadi ya teaching writing by using peer editing. Jadi kalian suruh siswa kalian nanti belajar writing, nulis terus ngelakuin peer editing. Nah, ini tuh adalah checklistnya. Ya, bagaimana giving constructive suggestion. Ya, jadi apakah bisa bilang this is a weak topic sentence? Can you make this topic sentence stronger? Gitu ya. Ini adalah beberapa pertanyaan gitu ya, checklist ya that you feel would be most helpful to the writer. Share your answer with partner and explain your choice. Biasanya ini nih, baca lemah nggak ya topiknya? Kayaknya iya deh, centang. Can you make this topic sentence stronger? Ya udah dicentang. Yang mana aja yang perlu diperbaiki. Ya ini sebenarnya checklist aja ya membantu kita nanti pada saat kita melakukan peer editing ke teman-teman kita. Okay? So I think that's all. Ya, so this is ini juga latihan nih bagaimana ngecek peer editing. And then this is all the review. Nah, ini review terakhir. Miss mau cek paham nggak apa yang udah tadi disampaikan. So beside your paragraph, jadi tadi ada 3 ya, ada tugasnya 3 paragraph yang menggunakan examples, explanation, sama details, sama yang ini. Tolong silakan jawab whether it is true or false. Jadi nggak usah buat soalnya lagi, langsung aja tulis A, T, B, false kayak gitu. Ya, misalnya nih, details give more specific information than the topic sentence. Benar nggak details itu memberikan informasi yang lebih spesifik daripada topic sentence? True or false? Ya, true. Ya, jadi nomor A ini tulis T. Okay, so there are until J. Sampai J ya. tinggal ditulis true or false. So you have to exercise ya for today's meeting, buat 3 paragraf tadi dengan 3 metode yang berbeda. Ya, dan yang terakhir yang J, 1 paragraf aja. Jadi 1 topik tadi, 1 paragraf dengan cara supporting sentence yang berbeda. Apakah pakai metode details? Oh, paragraf yang kedua dengan tema yang berbeda, ya, menggunakan misalnya example. Paragraf yang ketiga temanya beda lagi, lalu kalian pakai metode yang berbeda juga, explanation. Okay? So that's all what I want to explain to you for today's meeting. Thank you very much, and next meeting mungkin ya kayaknya kita lebih baik Zoom dulu, jadi bisa ketemu sama Miss langsung dan bisa tanya terkait topik sentence, supporting sentence, sama concluding. Ya, nanti kita tanya jawab dulu, diskusi dulu gitu. If you have understand that, karena ini base-nya ya, karena itu cara dasar nulisnya, which I do believe that you have learned this from Miss Desi before. Yang kayaknya udah pertemuan kemarin di writing itu sudah sama Miss Desi ya, udah kayaknya udah banyak latihannya sama Miss Desi, tapi Miss mau kita diskusi lagi minggu depan by using Zoom, and we can start kinds of the paragraph, how to write descriptive paragraph, process paragraph, contrast, nanti contrast, opinion, for, against opinion, paragraph, ya. So I wish that you could understand for my today's explanation. So thank you very much for watching the video, and after this, don't forget to submit your writing. So you have 1 week to submit your writing. Yeah, so the deadline will be next week on Monday at 11. Yeah. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you very much for watching the video, and see you next meeting, everyone. Please stay healthy and happy. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, everyone. Bye.